like champagne. I'm totally vibing. It's true what they say. It's all about timing.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Unscripted. My name is C Chronicles. I post Western fragrance reviews on this platform as well as vlogs. Now, if you're new and you're not yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing and joining the family. To those who are returning, thank you so much for the continued support. Now, why I did say Western fragrance reviews, guys, is I do have a channel that I started, which is my first channel, C Chronicles Talking Sense. That channel took a niche turn where it specializes, or where I focus mostly on Middle Eastern fragrances. So I decided to split my channels in that regard because the two actually clash analytically. Now, welcome to today's video. This video is going to be about vanilla forward fragrances within my collection. I decided to pick a few, but I know there's a lot of other vanilla fragrances on the market. The note of vanilla itself is one that is added in almost just as a rough estimate, I'm going to say maybe 70% of the fragrances on the market. Reason being that it amps up a lot of other notes there. Say, for instance, it will amp up the chocolate, it will amp up the caramel, it will add some warmth, it will add a woodiness, it will add a sweetness, that sort of thing. Sometimes even giving like fresh baked cookie vibes in a fragrance. And so I thought to isolate a couple of fragrances here. These are not only going to be vanilla based, but they have the vanilla doing the most. First one, guys, is going to be D Squared 2 Want. Gonna spray it on this piece of paper, but I have used this fragrance enough to know what to say. The sad thing about D Squared 2 Want is the hype around this fragrance made it scarce, and because of the scarcity, I noticed that this fragrance goes for just about anything, really. It just depends on the seller. So the price has been hiked on this fragrance. However, it's here because it's a very, very good vanilla scent. You have got to love vanilla for you to want to add this fragrance to your collection, guys, because that's mostly what you are going to smell as though you've been interacting with the extract itself. Although it mixes with the florals and a little bit of some woods, it doesn't make it more about all those. All those seem to just be there to make the fragrance up, but it is the vanilla note that speaks. The great lasting power as well in this fragrance, guys. A fragrance that, say, on 8 sprays is going to last the whole day. So number one is going to be D Squared 2 Want, of course, from the house D Squared. And what I'm going to do with some of the fragrances that I feel I do have alternatives of, say from the Middle East or from some of the affordable fragrance houses, I'm going to drop them here as well. They're not going to be the main focus, but I'm just going to drop them here to help you. Say, for instance, you can't get a certain fragrance, or you can, but you just want to save your money. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, the next one is going to be Mod Vanilla, and this is an example of one of the fragrances I'm going to give you an alternative of right now. Mod Vanilla is a fragrance by Ariana Grande, and I say I'm not too I don't want to call it crazy about it for now, but I'm gonna say it's not what I expected. Maybe because of how Ariana does her fragrances, I was expecting something that's going to be very cute and girly and stuff. But what I get from this particular vanilla, guys, is the bottle itself is very odd. It's nice to look at, but it's very weird to hold. What I get from this particular vanilla is like a sticky, sweet, burnt sugar type of vanilla, right? It comes across as a vanilla, as very complicated to actually wear on its own. Unless this changes, because if you watched the haul where I unboxed my new fragrances, this was one of the new additions to my collection. So this has been about 10 days in my collection. But if it changes, we'll see. But it's very rare with vanilla, because what vanilla does, it simply thickens. You know, it gets richer and richer. So the vibe around this fragrance, guys, is like a smoky vanilla, kind of like a toasty vanilla, like a burnt sugar type of vanilla. After I purchased this, I actually regretted, because I think I have 2 already in my collection that kind of smell like this. The number one being one from her already, that God Is a Woman, smells very much like this. And the second one that I will recommend, say for instance you thinking you're missing a lot and you are wondering what this fragrance is all about, is Budainia, okay, from the house of Astaf. The same vibe, the same everything that I get in this Middle Eastern fragrance is what I get in here. So I'm not sure whether this was actually cloning that, because when I did bring it on my second channel, I did say that it was very close to God is a Woman. But after spraying them side by side, it's almost as if it's the same juice rebottled, right? But obviously this being a clone of that. So yeah, if you're looking for an alternative, try this one. If you think you're missing out, try Thanya by the House of Astaf. You will get a fragrance that smells very, very similar to Ariana Grande's Mode Vanilla, a vanilla that feels more in line with that vanilla that you'd want to layer your fragrances with than to wear outright. Of course, you can wear it outright, but it just feels like the sort of fragrance you want to wear there when you want to amp up a certain fragrance. Say you've got a floral, like a very heavy floral, and you just want to douse it with that sweetness, that sticky sweetness, that caramelized sweetness, that vanilla, then you may want to try this one, guys. As the second on the lineup is Mod Vanilla from Ariana Grande. Number 3, guys, is none other than Billie Eilish's Alish. Okay, so this is going to be your vanilla mixing with chocolate. Remember the intro of the video, I did say that vanilla pairs well with chocolate and caramel, you know, kind of giving a fragrance and oomph there. That is something that you're gonna find, or you should expect from Billie Eilish's Alish, right? She has gone on to release 2 more, but the 2 more are not so accessible to me. I've seen the gray one making rounds, and I believe that one is inspired by some Tom Ford, if I'm not mistaken. If not, if I am mistaken, then of course when I get it I will know exactly what it's inspired by, and I'm looking forward to the cherry one. But for now we're talking about just this one, right? So this is going to be chocolate, cacao mostly, mixing of course with that vanilla. They do mention the note of tonka. I do get a little bit of a tonka here, but the berries and the citruses are not the sort of, you know, notes I would say look out for if you are to purchase this fragrance based on the notes, because it does list the berries and the citrus at the top. I think it's mandarin at the top, but what you're going to get the most is going to be a cacao and a vanilla mixing with a tonka. That is what makes this fragrance very chocolatey, the scent itself, but drying down a little bit musky or even a little bit powdery there. Now there is a fragrance that does smell a lot like this one from the house of Lattafa called Nebraska. You could try that one if you're looking for this amplified, because I do get an upbeat, a very chocolatey, sticky chocolate from Nebraska, and I do get in this one. But in terms of age, I'm going to say Nebraska is the sort that feels very fun-like, even very young, and this is one that borders around all age groups, where even a grown-up will carry this cacao vanilla forward fragrance without a problem. So it's a third one on the lineup, guys, Billie Eilish's Alish. Fourth on the lineup, guys, is going to be Tobacco Vanille. Now, Tobacco Vanille is from the house of Tom Ford, and this fragrance, guys, is of course going to be a mix of the tobacco and the vanilla. Now, the mix of this tobacco and the vanilla with spices, a lot of spices in there, as well as dried fruits, you know, something that feels resinous there. Interpret that vanilla into like a sticky feel, sticky, rich vanilla mixing with that tobacco, giving off wafts of I'm going to say something that reminds me of Coca-Cola. That is exactly what I get, guys, from this. Not to say, if you love Coca-Cola based fragrances, like the obvious Coca-Cola fragrances, say for instance, like the Youth Dew, then go buy this one. No, this has got that Coca-Cola dry down that it has, something that feels even licoricey. It's just going to depend on how your nose extracts it. Do take note that this one pulls more unisex there. Some noses is going to feel more in line with masculine toned fragrance. Let's say 70% masculine toned, right? Now, as I said earlier, that I am going to be showing you some of the alternatives that you can grab in case you cannot get some of the fragrances that I'm talking about here. I stumbled upon this one. It's called Bouquet Vanilla from the house Alwatania. If Alwatania is close to you, then this fragrance, guys, is going to do it for you. Both of them last till the next wash, so it's going to be value for money either way. Okay, now the fifth one on the lineup, guys, is going to be this vanilla bourbon. Why I have it in the package is not because I do not use it, but because all of them kind of come in the same package. And if you watched my video where I featured the mix Bar fragrances. I bought about 6 or 7 at the same time, so I just keep them in their original boxes because all of them come in this bottle. You're gonna have to identify them either by the juice or by looking closely, so I just put them in their boxes because the boxes are quite clear there that this one is this one. So this is going to be Vanilla Bourbon. Right now I'm going to spray this one in its box and then tell you my thoughts. Vanilla Bourbon gives me a vibe that is almost identical to Vanilla 28, to an extent that I would say they were either going for Vanilla 28 or they were going for Spirituous Double Vanille. If you love one of those two fragrances, you're going to love this fragrance. This is a cheapie, this is affordable. Now let me show you what Vanilla 28 looks like. So this is Kali's Vanilla 28. I was going to mention it as an honorable mention because it's not a Western fragrance, but I feel it is one of the vanillarest vanillas of all time. So it does, feel it is befitting to be in this video. Now that I have picked it up, might as well make it our number 6 because this was number 5, right? Vanilla Bourbon or Bourbon Vanilla by Mix Bar was our number 5. So this was going to be our number 6. So we're going to talk about them side by side. Now, my thoughts about Vanilla Bourbon, guys, are the fact that this smells very similar to this, except that this gives me somewhat of a lighter tone. This Vanilla Bourbon is somewhat less sweeter, but it interprets to this. The less sweetness that you're going to get from Vanilla Bourbon is one that aligns very close to that Spirituous Double Vanille, okay? But I'm going to say, if you were wondering what this Vanilla 28 smells like, a little bit of what Spirituous Double Vanille smells like, then you ought to try this one. But it's an outright vanilla scent that is going to give you the vibe of vanilla cookies. Now, unlike Ariana Grande's Vanilla Mod or Mod Vanilla, this one is a fragrance that you can wear outright. It is just a beautiful wrap up of a warm, woody, even vanilla extract type of feel there without pushing it too much. Okay, so this is going to be our number 5, followed by the number 6, vanilla of all vanillas, right? If you don't have Vanilla 28, please do try to get Vanilla 28. And after purchasing my Mod Vanilla or Vanilla Mod Vanilla, this one, I said to myself, there's a reason why this Kali one is so viral. There's a reason why this Kali one is a must-have. There's a reason why people went crazy about the Kali one, because it's not every vanilla that nails it, guys. This is a very odd vanilla right there. It's not the sort of vanilla that you buy thinking you're going to get this or you're going to get that. Just saying, guys. All right, so that was our number 5 and number 6. I'm going to put my Vanilla Bourbon back in its box. If you're wondering about the name of the brand, it's called Mix Bar. In South Africa, you can get this, and some people have told me online that you can get it at TK Maxx, and you can get it at not sure if somebody said Sephora, but you can get this brand internationally. I think it was only somebody in Canada. If it's not Canada, it was Australia that said they can't get this fragrance. So I do hope that Mix Bar, for their own sake, because they're doing very good fragrances, make sure you improve on distribution. Now, number 7 is going to be Vanilla Powder. This is a little tester, right? And I've got two of these testers, 2 by is this a 2 ml or a 1.5 ml? Not sure. 1.5 ml. Okay, I've got 2 of these, and I did bring a full review of this particular one, because it's one fragrance that a little goes a long way. I'm not even going to spray it. Okay, I'm taking the tester out so that you just see for yourself. Okay, so that is Vanilla Powder from the house Matiri Premier. The review is in this channel. This is one of the most heaviest vanillas on the market, right? If you are so crazy about vanilla and you want a vanilla that's going to last the whole day, couple of washes even, then get yourself Vanilla Powder. It is a vanilla that mixes with like a powdered sugar, like an icing sugar, that sort of thing, okay? That is what you're going to get from this, but it is somewhat amplified to an extent of feeling very intense there, very pushy there. I think it's one of those that 3-4 sprays on this, maybe a little bit too much, especially if you put them to close to your face right there. It can also be a little bit bothersome maybe to people around you, because this This thing is polarizing, okay? But I just thought to throw it here for anybody who may want to invest in a vanilla that is a little bit pricey, you know, but that is going to last an eternity, because this does have the lasting power. So if you want to purchase this one vanilla fragrance as an investment because you love vanilla and you do not want to be buying all the time, then the Myteri Premier one is going to do the most for you. But do remember that it does have like an icing sugar accord that makes it have like a powdery thing going on there, to some even drying down, a little bit musky, that sort of thing, but very vanilla forward, right? The next one is going to be Calvin Klein's Obsession. This is an oldie but a goodie, right? This is one fragrance I wore for the longest time during my youth. It is an 85 or 80 something release. So most of you guys would have either known somebody who smells like this, came across somebody who smells like this, been with somebody who smells like this, or had a teacher that smells like CK Obsession. And this one is for women, right? Now this is a host of a lot of notes, but the juice in itself will tell you that it's a very vanilla forward fragrance. It is also carrying some spices there that are going to be so piercing and that are going to be in the forefront, as well as some incense. So you're going to get a little bit of a smoky tone in this. Woods there in the mix, some amber as well. So it's going to be a fragrance that's rounded in a little bit of a busy way, and to an extent pulling Vintesque there. So if you love that sort of tone, then you are going to love Calvin Klein Obsession. But do take note that from the ones that I've shown you here, this is one that's going to have a little bit of a character that's not just vanilla, that has the vanilla to anchor it, but not just a vanilla forward fragrance, like say for instance vanilla bourbon, say for instance Alish, or the D2 that I mentioned, but it does of course have the vanilla note, guys. So this is going to be our number 8 on this lineup. Now number 9, guys, is going to be none other than this one, Golden Decade from the house of Zara, inspired of course by Lib, okay, by Lib, but the Intense. Let me just show you the Lib. Okay, let me just show you the Lib, because some people call it Libre. Okay, so it's a Lib, this one, but the Intense, right? So they do share a lot of similarities, even with the one that's not the Intense. This is the EDP, right? But it does share a little bit of some similarities with the Intense. The only difference with the Intense, guys, is it does have a double tone of vanilla, if not a triple tone of vanilla, working together with an aromatic, spicy lavender. And what makes it different from the original, not this particular one, this one is obviously a clone from Zara called Golden Decade, but cloning YSL Lib, the Intense. What makes this one, or what makes the YSL Lib Intense, just to make sure that I don't throw you off, different from the regular one, is the amped up use of the vanilla note in this fragrance, guys. The vanilla is doing the most. This is going to just be a pleasant surprise, a pleasant difference from the original. The original has got what feels a little bit like a masculine tone. I do get that as well, but this is double sweetened by that vanilla, giving you almost the same vibe, but that vanilla finish that makes it more enjoyable, in fact, than the original. And kudos to Zara. You know, I think this is one of their best sellers, and it's also one of their most long-lasting ones, because Zara had been known for a long time for having fragrances that do not last the most. So it does look like Zara, after fragrances like these and more, took a turn to make sure that they do dedicate most of their fragrances to ensuring that they do have the longevity. So Golden Decade, guys, inspired by YSL Lib Intense, is the 9th one on this lineup. Now, last but not least is going to be this one. I'm not going to spray this one, guys, because there's very little to none left there. And the second thing being, this could very well be discontinued. If you can get your hands on Vanilla and Anise by Jo Malone, then do so. Because if you love vanilla, this is going to do it for you. This is a vanilla, guys, that has that spicy wrap up of the anise, and the anise in this gives it like a spicy licorice twist to it, which makes it fun there and interesting, okay? But it does carry that distinct vanilla that you're gonna smell there. That is pretty obvious that it is a vanilla scented scent, just like the other, vanilla scented scents that I spoke about here. But it is a vanilla that has that richness, that mysterious feel of that licorice accord that you're gonna get in. There's very nice, very refined, but for you to get this one, you'd obviously maybe have to get it from somebody who already has it in their collection and are decluttering it. But it's a fragrance that if you go on the site and you just look for vanilla and anise, is very difficult to find. This, guys, makes the 10th vanilla fragrance in my collection, which I thought to present on this lineup. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section as usual, where we're going to discuss more about fragrances. Let me know some of the best vanilla fragrances on the market. And yes, Spirituary's Double Vanille is one of them. Gentle Fluidity Gold is one of them. Okay. Which other one can I think of? Which other one can I? Okay. Don't want to waste time on this video, but I do know that there are some very good ones out there that I do not have. So hopefully in future I'll be able to afford them, or at least get decants, or at least get the minis of them and bring them here. So let us interact in the comment section as usual. Remember to turn on post notifications on both my channels. That way you get to be notified, guys, anytime I upload a video. Meanwhile, like and share this one. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.